handsome young man ni sir.
Àlàáfíà ni bẹ́ẹ̀ ni.
Àti Tọ́pẹ́.
Àlàáfíà ni gbogbo wa.
So mo fẹ́ pín ètò mo ń bọ̀ wá sà. Then ẹ máa ṣíwájú wa nú àdúrà. Àwọn màmá méjì tí wọ́n láwọn ò rí notification bell yan, mo fẹ́ pín ètò sí ọ̀dọ̀ wọn.
Okay.
So ẹ jọ̀ọ́ má bínú sí mi sà, ẹ fún mi ní ìṣẹ́jú mélòó kan.
Ayé gbà wá, kò sí nǹkan tí mò ń ṣe alájẹ. Kò sí nǹkan tí mò ń ṣe. Mo ti wálé ó ti ṣe díẹ̀ gan. So I closed early.
Ẹ ṣeun gan ni sà. Oh. Okay. Mo fẹ́ edit title ti Facebook sir. Tuesday with Bàbá Ẹgbẹ́. Tuesday. Okay. Okay. Wọ́n ti gbórí wọ ẹ káàbọ̀ mọ́mì, ẹ ṣé gan ni. Ẹ kú gbogbo gbà máa o.
Ẹ ṣeun.
Dádì, ẹ jọ̀ọ́ sà, ẹ ṣíwájú wa náà àdúrà sà.
Bàbá ní orúkọ Jésù. Lóga tí ọlọ́lá. Ọlọ́run ẹ̀mí àwọn wòlíì. Ọlọ́run ẹ̀mí gbogbo ènìyàn. Agbẹ́yìn ga ṣe yín lọ́ba. Àjúbà yín akọ́dá yín. Àṣẹ̀bá yín àṣẹ̀dá ọ̀run. Ìbà ẹ̀mí ni tí ń jẹ́ ẹ̀mí. Ọlọ́run tó dá ohun gbogbo tí a kò dá. A fi yìn forúkọ yín, ọba tí kò ṣeé kí. Ṣùgbọ́n ó tó yìn nínú iṣẹ́ ọwọ́ rẹ̀. A gbé ọ̀gá, Ọlọ́run jẹ́ gbéga. Àṣeyín lọ́ba, Ọlọ́run máa jọba lọ. A yìn yín, Ọlọ́run gba ìyìn wa. Ògo ni forúkọ yín títí ayé. A tún dé lónìí lábẹ́ oore ọ̀fẹ́ tẹ́ fi fún wa. Ẹ ò jẹ́ kí ipa ọ̀tá kó mú wa. Ẹ ò jẹ́ kí mọ̀ Sátánì kó ṣe mọ́ wa lára. Ohun gbogbo tá à ń gbà lérò lẹ́ ń jẹ́ kó yọrí sí dáadáa. Bí ẹ tilẹ̀ fààyè sílẹ̀ láti pé kán ayé tàbí Sátánì kó dán wa wò. Tàbí àìlera pàápàá, tàbí àìní kó lè dán wa wò. Ẹ ò jẹ́ káwọn nǹkan wọ̀nyí kó dán wa ládàtán. Ẹ ń jẹ́ ká yọ ọpẹ́ kó mọ yọ lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ fún wa. Náà lálùbọ̀ ọpẹ́ lórúkọ mẹ́ta lọ́kan. Ọpẹ́ ìjókòó jẹ́ dáadáa tán. Ọpẹ́ ìjókòó la ọ̀run já Ọlọ́run. Ọpẹ́ ìṣe ní ẹbọ Ọlọ́run dúdú níwájú ìwọ Ọlọ́run. Tẹ́ ọgbà ọpẹ́ wọn Ọlọ́run wa. A bẹ̀ ọ́, a fi ètò náà lé ọ lọ́wọ́. Ìwọ la fi ṣe ní ìṣáájú. Ìwọ la ní kẹ̀kẹ́ yìí wá pẹ̀lú. Má jẹ́ ká ṣe ohunkóhun nípa ti ara wa. Pẹ̀lú ẹ̀mí rẹ̀, pẹ̀lú ìtọ́sọ́nà ẹ̀mí rẹ̀, Ọlọ́run jẹ́ ká lè máa ṣe ohun gbogbo. Lópin rẹ̀, ayọ̀ ẹ̀yin pẹ̀kun jẹ́ kó jẹ́ tàwọn ọmọ rẹ̀. Alààyè yín gbogbo àwọn olólùfẹ́ ètò yìí la fi lé ọ lọ́wọ́. Àwọn tó ń wà lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́, àwọn tí ó mọ̀ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa. Ẹni bí tí ó mọ̀ wo lọ́jọ́ ọ̀la ní gbogbo ibi kóòwù tá a lè wà. Ọlọ́run ṣe agbègbè wa ní ti àlàáfíà. ṣe ìdáwọlé ní ti ayọ̀ jẹ́ ká rúgbó sọ̀rọ̀ bí ó ṣe bí ọmọ ayọ̀ nípẹ̀kun ọlọ́run lẹ́gbàá ọlọ́run bá fi tẹ́ wa lọ́rùn ìró ayọ̀ lọ ní àmàgbọ́ lágọ́ àwọn òdodo Kristi lárọ̀ mọ́ nínú gbogbo àwàtà gbogbo ẹni tó lólùfẹ́ ètò tó nífẹ̀ẹ́ sí ètò yìí ìró ayọ̀ ní kó jẹ́ ká mọ̀ síra wa gbàdúrà ní orúkọ Jésù Kristi Olúwa wa.
Àmín ní orúkọ Jésù. Mo ń bọ̀ wá sí ọ̀dọ̀ yín bàbá ẹgbẹ́. Ẹ jẹ́ ká kí àwọn aráalé akíwa pé ẹ káàárọ̀, ẹ káàsán, ẹ kúrọ̀lẹ́, ẹ kálẹ́ according to the time. Ṣé àlàáfíà ni gbogbo ilé wà? A gbà ládùúrà pé ojú rere àti àánú Ọlọ́run kò ní fi ẹ̀yin àti èmi sílẹ̀ o. Ẹ ṣé, ẹ kú gbogbo gbà. Akíyín orúkọ tèmi kò yí padà. Tẹ́ bá ń gbọ́ Ìyálájé Global Talk Show ní orí YouTube channel mi, èmi ni mò ń jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. Ìyálájé Global Talk Show. Tẹ́ bá ti subscribe, ẹ bá wa lọ́bẹ̀, ẹ lọ bá wa subscribe, kẹ́ bá wa like, kẹ́ love, kẹ́ comment, kẹ́ bá wa pín ètò. Tẹ́ bá kúrò ní ọ̀dọ̀ mi, ẹ bá mi yà lọ sí ọ̀dọ̀ ọ̀gá mi, ọ̀rọ̀ lẹyẹ ń gbọ́, Dr. Michael Ajilopolo náà ń jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. Tẹ́ bẹ́ ṣe ń ṣe léyìí, ẹ máa fi ọwọ́ náà ṣe ohun tó dára nínú ayé yín. Ẹ ṣé lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀. Akíyín ẹ káàbọ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí orí ètò yín, ètò wa. Màá wá máa kí wa bí n bá ṣe rí orúkọ mi ní ọ̀dọ̀ mi níbí. Ìyá wa Rẹ̀mí Ọ̀ṣùgbòyè, mọ́mì, ẹ ṣé gidigidi gan ni o.
Ẹ káàbọ̀ mọ́.
Akíyín ẹ kú gbogbo ìgbà, ẹ kú àdúrótì. Ẹ ní dánìkan ṣe lé ayé yín o. Àwọn ọmọ yín máa rí àánú gbà ní gbogbo ọ̀nà wọn. Ẹ ṣé adúpẹ́. Ẹ bá wa kí dádì Babátúndé Olúwatósìn àti ìyàwó wa. Ẹ ṣé lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀. Ẹ jẹ́ kí wọ́n padà sí ọ̀dọ̀ ẹ̀gbọ́n mi bàbá ẹgbẹ́. Ìkúnlẹ̀ mi rèé o dádì. Ẹ ṣeun gidigidi gan ni, ẹ kú àdúrótì, ẹ kú gbogbo ìgbà, ẹ kú kó lè dára, ẹ kú fi Ọlọ́run tẹ́ ní nínú ayé mi. Àjọṣe wa títí ayérayé ni láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Ojú òní tì yín láéláé o. Ọlọ́run ọ̀run àti ayé ó máa bá mi ṣe alátìlẹ́yìn yín. Gbogbo nǹkan yín tó mí àti èyí tí kò mí, èyí tó ń dùn yín nínú, ẹ ní wà kankan tì nínú wọn o. Lágbára Ọlọ́run, ẹ ní jábọ́ o, ẹ ní mọ̀kòrò títí tẹ máa fi kúrò láyé. Májẹ̀mú àlàáfíà àti ẹ̀mí gígùn, ó ti jẹ́ ti yín, ó jẹ́ ti aya, ó jẹ́ ti àwọn ọmọ yín pátápátá ní kọ̀ọ̀kan. Ẹ ṣé gidigidi gan ni. Ẹ káàbọ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí orí ètò yín, ètò wa. Ẹ bá wa kí àwọn aráalé ká tó tẹ̀síwájú sà.
Lákọ̀ọ́kọ́, a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run tó tún ní kó ṣeé ṣe fún wa lónìí. Àtúnrí àwa láyọ̀. Ọlọ́run kó gba ọpẹ́ wa. Mo kí gbogbo alọ́kùnrin lóbìnrin lónílé àti ní àlejò níbikíbi tá a wà pátápátá, gbogbo àwọn tá a nífẹ̀ẹ́ sétò yìí, gbogbo àtàwọn ń wo ètò yìí, gbogbo àwọn tí ó mọ̀ bá wa pín, ojú tí ó mọ̀ wò lọ́jọ́ ọ̀la, gbogbo ọkàn tí ó mọ̀, gbogbo àwọn tí gbogbo ẹni tí ó mọ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ètò yìí tẹ́ mọ̀ sọ sí dáradára. A kí yín pé ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò, a kí yín pé ẹ kúfẹ̀ẹ́. Ọlọ́run ló máa ń san fún ni, ọba tí kì í jẹ nígbé, kò ní jẹ yín gbé ní ẹ̀san ayọ̀, kò ní jẹ yín gbé. Ọlọ́run á san fún yín ní dáradára. Ẹ ṣé, a kí yín káàbọ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí ìbájọṣepọ̀ wa. Jẹ́ fún ti àlàáfíà, jẹ́ fún ti ìtẹ̀síwájú. Ayọ̀ lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀, Ọlọ́run á sì jẹ́ ká bá wa pẹ́. Ẹ ṣé o, mo kí yín Ìyálájé pé ẹ kúṣẹ́. Mo dúpẹ́ pé ẹ jẹ́ kó sú yín. A dúpẹ́ pé ẹ jẹ́ kó rẹ̀ yín. Mo gbà ládùúrà Ọlọ́run á máa bá mi tún agbára, á máa bá yín tún agbára yín ṣe. Olúwa máa tún agbára yín ṣe. Mi kò ní rẹ̀ yín, kò ní jẹ́ kí ohun tí ẹ rò kó ba ohun tí ẹ rò jẹ́. Wọ́n dáwọ́ lé pátápátá, ọ̀sẹ̀ òkè ló jẹ́ kó ní oríṣi dáradára ni. Ẹ ṣé. Bá ṣe ń kí wa ní ti Kristẹni, bẹ́ẹ̀ náà la kí wa láwọn ní ẹ̀sìn Mùsùlùmí o. La kí àwa ní ti àbáláyé, àwọn ẹ̀sìn bàbá tiwa. A kí gbogbo wa káàbọ̀, a ò yẹ ẹnikẹ́ni nípọ̀sí. Sòkè má bínú tá bá ń gbàdúrà lórí ètò yìí, torí àdúrà tèmi mọ́ gbà ni mo ṣe gbà bẹ́ẹ̀. A ò yọ ẹnikẹ́ni nípọ̀sí rárá, ọmọ Oòduà, ọmọ èèyàn dúdú, ọmọ Áfíríkà kan náà ni gbogbo wa. Kọ́lọ́run kó pẹ̀lú wa.
Ẹ ṣé gidi gan ni sà. báwo dẹ̀ ni ajá yín, báwo ni ara ajá yín, báwo ló ṣe ń ṣe sàkátù?
Ó fẹ́ díẹ̀ lónìí. Ó better. Thank God. Oògùn yẹn náà bó ti ń kicking, so he's doing very well today. Tomorrow mo gbàgbọ́ pé á di ìtàn.
Ọlọ́run ṣeun, ẹ kú tọ́jú ẹ̀ sà. Ẹ ṣé gan ni. Ká tó tẹ̀síwájú, a kí gbogbo àwọn aráalé tí wọ́n bá wa kí Ella Ẹniọlá Ọlájùmọ̀kẹ́ ọmọ wa ní àná. Àjọṣe wa kò ní bàjẹ́. Ẹ ṣé gidi gan ni. Bàbá ẹgbẹ́ mọ́mí Rẹ̀mí Ọ̀ṣùgbòyè wọ́n ń kí yín dáadáa ní òun mo pin comment wọn torí ẹ̀ mo pin.
Èmi náà kí yín wá, thank you so much. Ẹ ṣeun. A mọ̀ pé you know, with God and with you, all things are possible. We thank you so much for the love. We appreciate you dearly. Mo tọrọ àforíjì, mi ò mention Dr. Ọlá, ẹ jọ̀ọ́ má bínú sí mi, kì í ṣe tàfojúdi, kì í ṣe ti àfojúré. Olúwa kú pẹ̀lú yín. A nífẹ̀ẹ́ yín o. We respect you very much. You are part of the home, an integral part, a very important part of this house. Thank you so much wherever you are, sir.
Ẹ ṣé gidi gan ni. Èyí tó túmọ̀ sí pé Dr. Michael Ọláìjìnlẹ̀ Ọpọlọ, ọ̀gá mi, bí tí yín bá ń já, à ń kí yín níbí báyìí o. Respect, sir. Ẹ bá kí mọ́mí àti gbogbo àwọn.
Gbígbé ta orúkọ yín, a pè yín fún ti ayọ̀ ni o, ti àlàáfíà, ti ìtẹ̀síwájú tó là, àti ìṣelógo ńlá la pè yín sí, a ò pè yín sí ti ìbànújẹ́ o.
Good. Ẹ ṣé gan ni, sir. So ẹ jẹ́ ká bẹ̀rẹ̀ ètò, sir. So àwọn èèyàn tí wọ́n bá dẹ̀ ní wọ́n máa darapọ̀, wọ́n máa bá wa lẹ́nu. Mo mọ̀ pé ọ̀rọ̀ wà.
Ọ̀rọ̀ tó wà, mo kàn wọ́n pé kájọ fojú sùnùkùn wa àwọn kankan ni. Because mo fẹ́ dákẹ́ lórí àwọn kankan for a minute. Tẹ́mi bá dẹ̀ ṣe ń bá mi sọ lèmi ṣe máa ń ní ìkábàámọ̀. So I would rather go with my spirit and then I would divert a little bit and just talk about wọ́n fẹ́ sọ lórí àwọn kan tó yẹ ká pay àwọn attention kankan sí. Tàbá wo September láwàá, September ti ń lọ sópin báyìí. New York City is a very busy hub now with the leaders of the entire world coming to United Nations, United Nations General Assembly. Every year, náà wá síbẹ̀. Ṣùgbọ́n a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run. Àwọn tó torí ẹ̀ dá United Nations yẹn gan kalẹ̀ tó jẹ́ kí n gíbe wọn gan bẹ̀, United States. Ṣé rí pé inú fún ẹ̀dọ̀fó lòun gan náà bá débẹ̀ lóyún èyí tó débẹ̀. The president of the United States is becoming more and more isolated in the world. In the entire world. The leader of it used to be the free leader of the world, Abi. Now, the United States president is now becoming more and more isolated in that body. Ṣé kò tọ́pẹ́?
Sà.
Bí èèyàn dúdú, èmi rò pé àwa èèyàn dúdú ṣe ká máa dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run ni. Ni mo ṣe gbàgbọ́ nínú ọ̀rọ̀ Bíbélì tó sọ pé ó ní ẹ mọ̀ ó ní àwọn tó when people máa try to wá ẹsẹ̀ Bíbélì yẹn ó ní ó fi wọ́n sílẹ̀ fún ìyè ríra tí Ọlọ́run bá pé ẹni tó bá sọ pé bọ́ọ̀lù Ọlọ́run ṣe jẹ́ tàbí tó tọwọ́ sí pé Ọlọ́run ní ìfẹ́. I'm not trying to preach any religion. I'm just trying to say that whatever is noble, whatever is truthful, whatever is right, whatever is compassionate, whatever is peaceful, that's what is God. Whatever is love. Ṣùgbọ́n ẹni tí ò bá ti ní ìfẹ́, tí ò ní òtítọ́, tí kò ní ìwà rere, tó kórìíra, tó sì kún fún ìkà, Ọlọ́run máa ń fi wọ́n sílẹ̀ fún ìyè ríra. Torí nínú ẹ̀ ní ó jẹ́ kán ṣègbè sí. Another Bíbélì mi tó gbé lẹ́sẹ̀ ó ní nígbà tí àwọn èèyàn burúkú bá ń gbèrú. When you see these evil people and when you see these evil nations when they are prosperous, wọ́n sọ fún àwọn olódodo pé though you could be thinking that pé yóò ti pẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ṣe jẹ́ pé why are we suffering, why are we doing this? African, you can be saying why are you suffering, and then the Western world will be saying àwa máa wò pé why are they so prosperous? And they go some country. Nígbà tó àwọn èèyàn tó bá ń gbèrú bíbélì tèmi sọ pé ó ní kí wọ́n lè pa kí wọ́n lè run láéláé ni kí wọ́n lè parẹ́ láéláé. It is coming to that point. It is coming to that point where the African people that have been relegated and cheated, that have been tortured and subjected to all kinds of abuse, the time is almost near where the glory will arise and shine. I can see that, and I just want to thank God. Mo kàn dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run pé ṣe rí láti àwọn kankan téèyàn ò lérò bí téèyàn ò ti lérò pé and that's the hallmark of God. When you want to test, èèyàn lè dán Ọlọ́run náà wò. But they say, èèyàn lè try. You can try God. You can really test God because it looks like He always works in places where you never count. You never countenance. You never think of any sensible thing can come out. Wọ́n jẹ́ pé láàrin àwọn ọmọ 37, 36, 35, 34-year-old from somewhere in Burkina Faso, somewhere in Niger, you know, Zimi Goita, maybe he's like 40 something too. He's not even up to 50. You understand? And then Gianni looks like the oldest among them. Maybe he's in his early 50s or maybe early. You understand? These are young military men. And then the salvation of Africa is coming from there. Trust me. The leaders in Zimbabwe, the leaders in our leaders don't stand up for what is right. Even the Ghanaian leader and every other leaders now in Africa that is trying to change how we relate with the rest of the world. It is because of these three. It goes down in history. Àwọn yẹn ti korúkọ wọn náà. Àdúrà tèmi nígbà ní pé Ọlọ́run jẹ́ kí orúkọ tọkọ yẹn kó bàjẹ́, kó rí ìdìbàjẹ́. Nínú ìtàn aláwọ̀ dúdú, ìran aláwọ̀ dúdú, tó bá ń sọ a reference back, even though they'll be referencing Patrice Lumumba, they'll be referencing Ghanaian Nkrumah, they'll be referencing Muammar Gaddafi, we'll be referencing a lot of our leaders that have been unalived. But when it comes to the real time, when Africa really break through, the breaking point, where we break through to freedom, that becomes more easy, or it could be a little complex, but more obvious that there's light in the horizon to freedom. You have to reference the name of those three leaders: Assimi Goïta, Abdurrahman Chiani, and Ibrahim Traore. Báwo ni bá ṣe dáa ká kọrúkọ àwa náà sínú ìwé ìrántí tó dára. No, we have a lot of people that are àwọn èèyàn tó pé wọ́n jẹ́ akin èèyàn gidi tán ti ṣe dáadáa ní inú ìtàn wa. Ẹ̀rígbà ṣe máa ń sọ dọ̀là. Lára wọn ni Ògún. Lára wọn ni Mọ́remí Ilé-Ifẹ̀. Lára wọn ni Ògèdèngbé Agbogbo àbí. We have all these great leaders. Lára wọn ni and then we talk about people like Awolowo and then talk about Bola again. But when we talk about eminent people in the history, very substantial people you cannot but mention at a particular time point in history. We thank God that these ones are writing their names down. That brings the question: are we just listening and then sitting on the fence and not doing the right things? And for those of us that say we want to act and say we're going to act after knowing the truth, even though you might have started from a point of interest, are you still on course to maintaining the truth you had with your people? Yoruba nation. You understand? Because for somehow I got involved, and then as whatever as God will have it, I was involved to a very significant level, and so therefore I cannot but continue to talk about it so that déwájú oúnjẹ jọ ń dẹ́yìn mọ́ ń dà sọ eléyìí tí ń bá sọ pé lọ́la pé mi mọ̀ nǹkan tí mo sọ mọ́ ẹ ti mọ̀ pé àṣírí tó mi ò tí sí. But once I'm telling you what I'm going to tell you, I will telling you my own truth. We started, yes, from a point where we thought only the Fulanis, and that's what we were looking at, and that the British was helping them so that these people have agenda to take the whole of take our fatherland. But then, when we now start to progress and we see what is happening around us, Nigeria is not existing alone in isolation. We are existing in relation with other countries, and we see what is happening. They're facing the same exact problem that we have in Nigeria. These people, the same thing, go into Congo. You see what the problems are. Go to Somalia, see what the problems are, and then you look at the common factor. Who are the common factors here? So, urbanization. And then our situation is not only peculiar to ourselves. We see examples around us. And now we see how the other people are successfully dealing with those problems. That means they're tackling the problems from the root, meaning removing the influence of France and the Western world, removing their boots from their land, gaining sovereignty over their resources, and fighting and dismantling the terror groups that was created by this Western world, so-called civilized countries of the world, the so-called civilized nations of the world. These are the people, the democratic countries of the world that are sponsoring terror against Black people. Call a spade a spade. I'm not racist in any form, but I'm telling you the truth as it is occurring to us. This is our reality in Africa. That's the reality of Africans. And that story, that history must stand. Not because of vengeance, but because of the truth. The truth must be known, so because of awareness. It has to be recorded so people know. So we know, my children will know what they're dealing with in the world that they are in. So we see what's happening in the world. Now, what does it call us as Yoruba nation to do? It calls us to recalibrate. We should, you can recalibrate in okay, let us secure the nation first. Let us join an alliance and gain sovereignty over our resources. Let us now fight the terrorist groups that these people have created, dismantle those terror groups, and then we can then talk about, when we have a stable country, we can talk about, a nation, a Yoruba nation out of that country. Of course, look at, because Ibrahim, all these three leaders, the Modaroko, they know that they cannot survive alone and that Africa needs to be united. Thanks to the professor, Professor Lumumba, professor.
Yeah.
An outspoken man, a very knowledgeable man. Do you understand? He's also a history. Babakitoye is a professor of history. So he should know. You will expect that Babakitoye will know better what I'm saying today. If Professor Lumumba of Kenya, if he's talking the way he's talking and what he's saying across Africa, I think Babakitoye will have met a more bigger microphone if he was the one doing this on behalf of Yoruba Nation with the type of team that he had, the Yoruba Nation group, worldwide organized, talking about the same thing. It will have more impact. Where the British, this Western world, they know the Yoruba people. They know us clearly that we are highly intelligent. And when you talk about Nigeria's progress outside of Nigeria, when you talk about Nigerians, making impact outside of Nigeria, you're talking about the Yoruba people all across the globe. So don't tell me now that if Baba had used the Yoruba Nation platform to be doing the same thing that this Lumumba guy is doing, this professor, it will have far greater impact, not only in Nigeria, but across the continent of Africa, which is then easier. Or if we had changed our directives, if we had changed our direction, instead of being myopic, now if we have become more inclusive, and expand it to include even get the Igbos involved, get the Hausas involved, get the, all these people involved, wouldn't it have been much better to secure Nigeria and change the leadership of that country so that we can now be in coalition with the Sahelian people and form a bloc that will be totally impossible for these imperialists to penetrate again. And then when we have that stable region, we can start talking about Yoruba nation on a peaceful table, on a dining table where people drink and talk. Just like it will be a legislation. Instead of fighting and they're killing people in the world, in the bush, and you're never going to get those weapons. And people are dying. How can you get those weapons? Only when you have the instrument of government. Look at what Ibrahim Traore just got recently. Ibrahim Traore, Burkina Faso. If he was just talking about his own tribe and he was leading a group about just a group, will he get that weapon? Rocket launcher. So, do you understand? So this is what I was saying. Now we cannot be myopic and just say, okay, we're just gonna stand where I can protect you. You just want to for another 50, 60 years like that, because they won't care. These imperial powers don't care. They want you to be like that, and then they will continue to mine, take away your resources anyways. Just be confused. Stay there. That's what they want. That is the state they want us. They don't want us to move away from that state. Kama reduce up, improve, invest, develop, industrialize. No, they don't want us like that. They want us to be looking to securing ourselves, running around. This is what they want us to do. Our children will continue to be parabolators like that, and some of us will be japa like that. Why they're stealing our resources? Even in Burkina Faso recently, Ibrahim Traore, another remote area, not to discover 5 trucks, including and 50 people was arrested. And then they have what? French citizens there still mining gold in a remote part of Burkina Faso where nobody goes. Loru. Ibrahim Traore led that operation himself. They will cause trouble in that area. You'll be fighting around while they're going to your resources and be stealing. This is what they're doing across Africa. And this is what we should continue to. No, I beg to differ. If we're not going to change it out, I cannot be fighting a lost battle, because that to me looks like a dead end. About dead end. Here, Abi, that's June. That's why I've taku di Jesu. July ti kọjá me. August ti lọ. September ti lọ. Ìgbà la fẹ́ padà dún bẹ̀rẹ̀ another one. You understand what I'm saying? And then people will come around and be telling you stories and, giving you every different formula at every turn. Instead of, I'm saying that these people, we will be guilty of the deaths of our own people when we continue to follow dead-end routes. When we continue to follow dead-end routes, it will be, the blood of our people will be on our hands. Because the more we stay in that jungle, the more deaths it costs to our people. But now, look at what's happening. Now let me piggyback to what I was saying. A lot of things happening in the world today. Let's look at the Israeli issue. Look at what's happening with Israel and the United States being isolated in the United Nations. Now only Israel and America together. Of course, America has a veto power in the United Nations. Already, look at what Xi Jinping is saying now. It's becoming more bold. Xi Jinping is becoming like a clear leader of the world right now, with more coalition on his side, all nuclear powered. And now Xi Jinping, for the first time, accusing the United States of abusing its veto power. Because she didn't say one. She said. And bàbá ni ló máa ń ṣe ewúrẹ́ fi ń ṣọkọ ìyá àti ẹ̀ ṣe ló ń ṣe àgùntàn tó fi ń ṣọkọ ìyá àti ẹ̀ náà. So are they not? So the man said, oh, it's not whatever. And then Vladimir Putin just warned like a few days ago, where you guys are toying with Third World War. Now, this time, the way he said it is not like the Russian way proxies. I only activate nuclear technical, whatever, or no word. Even though they try to push him, like Putin, and they try to push him to see if he's going to use those tactical nuclear weapons in Ukraine. He resisted that thing. He was doing his homework. But Vladimir Putin himself gave a hint a few days ago. Third World War. They might think it's a joke. It's already testing them out already. He's already testing NATO out. And now the fact is coming out that it was not Vladimir Putin that actually started this war in Ukraine. When you had an agreement with people and you don't keep your agreements, America is known never to keep agreements. Never. They've asked the question even in Saudi Arabia. Recently, Saudis only when one of the Saudi ambassadors was talking, and an anchor was asking a question. Only, well, you just answered. You just said that people should not trust America when he talks. This is the unfortunate situation we're in. That means none of these world powers, none of these world leaders that is serious, that has their IQs intact, ever trust anything that the United States says. They should be trusted. If America should be trusted, Gaddafi will probably still be alive today. Kim Jong-un, the Korean leader, only I will never give up my nuclear power. Only because everybody knows what America does to people that give it up.
So they're
only Gaddafi. Yeah, because they pressured Gaddafi to remove all of his weapons of biological weapons. Only got this man to biological weapons factories there. And then see what they do to him. When the Americans are going to abandon nuclear power, going to give it up. Only never. Only we already know what America does to people that give up their nuclear power. That's to tell you they're not going to listen. And North Korea, China, Russia, Iran, all in the same, now India with them. So America is just in cahoot with Israel and the rest of Europe. And the rest of Europe don't count anyways. Look at them. How many countries? Who are they? Yes, they have nuclear power, just like Russia has. So any nuclear power can actually destroy the world. So it doesn't matter whether you have 1,000 nuclear warheads or you have one. If you have one that's really serious, you can terminate you can obliterate the whole world. So who's going to win? Nobody's going to win. You cannot threaten people like that. That's why I say, but again, there could be serious issues happening very, very rapidly, especially after this UN General Assembly. Let us see what happens in the world theater. We pay attention to in the world theater, because just before the United Nations, Russia violate the airspace NATO countries. It's been violating the airspace with no clear-cut response from Europe on NATO. They're confused because they don't really know what to do. For the first time, just a few weeks ago, you have the meeting of the BRICS in China with the Chinese leader. All these leaders coming together for the first time ever in the history of the world, creating another world order, and they mentioned that they're creating a new world order. And then on the continent of Africa, which is their breadbasket, they're seeing changes that is happening. Serious changes that is happening. Again, I'll use this opportunity to shout out to the leaders in Ethiopia. Hopefully, okay.
Yeah,
Hopefully, nírí wọn dà lágbo síná. Ṣé àpò wọn fẹ́ gbógun ti Ethiopia developments tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Ethiopia, claiming that the River Nile pé wọ́n try to disrupt omi tó ń wá sí Egypt tó ń lọ sí Israel. I understand into the canal, into the Suez Canal. Now, ṣé àwọn tó ní omi tómi ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ́dọ̀ wọn ni wọ́n lómi ni àbí àwọn tómi ń ṣàn lọ́sọ̀dọ̀ wọn ni problem? Because they don't want us to develop. They don't want that hydroelectric power to happen. This is how wicked these people are. How wicked they are. But Ethiopia is going forward, and I pray they succeed and finish up that hydropower. Hopefully, it can power the entire Africa. And then we can become an industrial, there could be an industrial revolution in Africa. And we don't have to import toothpick, toothbrush, toothpaste, tomato, anything and then we'll see what happens. Let us see what happened in Europe. And we'll see who are truly the rich people, the wealthy people in the world. But Donald Trump, across the world, right? In the same token, Donald Trump, about a week or two ago, those people will never let that happen. Only because they are coming against, only the dollar is the world currency, abi. Going to Barack Obama at the crooked Hillary Clinton, not Gaddafi. Yes. Now Donald Trump, it doesn't matter whether it's a Democratic president of the United States or Republican. It doesn't matter who they are. It doesn't matter whether his father is from Africa, he's the president of these people. They believe in the one single thing, that Africa must be kept where it is. That we have to be their servants. That we just have to be the ones to die and live a life of penury. We have to be the ones that are suffering from misery. We have to be the continent of the ghosts of the dead living or living dead. This is what they believe. We will never let that happen. What are you going to do, sir? Because thank God, because Putin is still clearly with African people. China is clearly supporting the African agenda. Palestine is joining the equation. Look at what's happening in the world. Let us take a look. What's happening in the world right now? Almost every country in the world is now acknowledging and recognizing the state of Palestine. Yalaje. Nation. Come on, so Palestine. What in Palestine came to the over 30 years ago. Sharafat. Palestine Liberation Organization. Before this, these people, Israel forced them. They frustrated people until the people became terrorists. In the name of survival, they started creating Hamas because as an against the Palestinian Liberation Organization, PLO, PLO, the real leadership of Palestinian people. Yes, Arafat was the president. The elite was their president is the second in command, deputy. But because Israel and America frustrated all of that, because they have their own agenda, people became frustrated and they created Hamas. And Hamas eventually gained political power. Hamas is not like 2 years ago. Now, the entire world is saying now we recognize About the two-state solution, that's Rose Garden, like Clinton. Yeah. President from Clinton 8 years to George Bush. To George Bush 8 years to Barack Obama,
then another 8 years.
To Donald Trump 4 years. To Joe Biden 4 years. That's another 8 years. To this one now. How many years? You talk about almost 40 years ago. You talk about the same thing, the same game plan. And now you want to live Gaza, the West Bank, and everything, where you want to annex everything. The same people that are taking their citizens now to South Africa. Honestly, once they have a territory in Africa, they're going to disturb the whole entire continent. So I'm talking, we should pay attention to what's happening around us. And then Netanyahu is threatening even China, pointing finger, see China and saying. Why? Because they see that China is supporting weapons to Burkina Faso. China is supporting weapons to Iran. Just this past week, Iran bought about 40 fighters, the most sophisticated fighter jets, 40 Russia deliver to Iran. So Netanyahu now calling China, calling out China as those sponsoring terror. So once they start pointing fingers and you're saying, well, even if Hamas is in China, we're going to attack them. This is Israel, small Israel, talking to China. Ben ko ton ṣe ní o ba yẹn o ní kẹta ton bá rí Hamas ní China o ma Xi Jinping kin sọ̀rọ̀ much. Yeah, okay, àwọn ti gbọ́. What is that telling us? This is telling us where underground, what is not known to the rest of the world, the idea don't spill at is way more than what we are seeing. The instability of the world right now, with what's going on, especially if you look at the United Nations today and you see what's going on and you see how the United States is kind of isolated, and then you see the threats to countries like China from Israel, and then you see the weapons that Iran is displaying being delivered to Iran, and then you see how Russia is taunting NATO and NATO cannot respond. They've not been able to come together to see how they're going to respond. And then you see what's happening in Africa that's affecting the economy of France and the rest of Europe. You know that this spillover, Stanley, there's more turbulence under the water than we can see. But even in this turbulence, you understand? Turbulence here, Africa should bomb your team. But with this turbulence happening, I'm more faithful. My faith is stronger. That Africa is going to be liberated. Africa is going to be free. Because at some point, common sense will kick to one of them. When they come to realization, but you know what? Because what is too hard for them is to acknowledge their evil deeds. It's very simple. Acknowledge your evil deeds, apologize for it, and then give back what you stole to the people. Let the people, give them their freedom, and then accept that you are dependent. You need their help. First, you must ask for forgiveness. You must acknowledge what you did. Beg for forgiveness. Release the people to let the continent be free, and ask for help. Be humble. That you're the one that needs help. At some point, no atomic weapon can stop time. Can stop the time. You know, none of these weapons is going to stop that time. All of this is just a matter of time. And if they will not listen, if you want to obliterate the entire world, you will not say you're going to bomb if you retaliate, because now Russia is signing these nuclear power deals with some of these countries, meaning that you attack them, you're attacking Russia. So how are you going to attack Burkina Faso and Russia is not going to respond? How are you going to attack Iran? And China is not going to respond because Russia is already signing nuclear deals with Iran. 8 nuclear plants right now. And then there's a defense pact with China. This is what is upsetting to Netanyahu. So Iran is signing this defense pact with China. So you have Russia and China in deals with Iran. Iran is way more powerful now than any other regional power in that place. And that's a threat to the United States because Israel is being reduced to nothing. But like maybe Donald Trump only jump and leave Israel to on its own. But Israel is a nuclear power. So that means Israel too, if somebody will survive, or no can right? That's where the issue lies. It's a whole lot of complex issues. So much turbulence under the water. People should just pay attention and look at the temperaments of these times. So it's not us that was going to suffer all this alone. If they want to die, we're going down every day. So for that change, that freedom to happen, if the world will go into places, let it go. I don't care. But if they are wise and they are humble, and they confess to their wicked atrocities against Africans, and apologize, and let Africa be free. Remove your boots from our lands. Hand over the sovereignty of our resources to our leaders. Let Africa be Africa. And then say, you know what? We need help. In the words of Burkina Faso's president, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, but Emmanuel Macron, when he was still riding his high horses, thinking that Burkina Faso will be brought down in a minute. Ibrahim Dalon, only will still help you. Only I will still come and help you. Because France was saying that Burkina Faso is not appreciative of the help they have given to France. I know what help left one. And you defend the third order. Our defending here to power in our. And like to be on killing in Kadesh for like where I so we to get. Only Suban, ma worry. Taba tojo awatan. Out ashman in low. Because that is the truth. They cannot survive without the help from Africa. We know that. Láwọn yẹn ṣe pariwo síta pé yóò ti pẹ́ tó tọ́lọ́run máa tó yí ìpín padà kí mọ̀dò kan máa ba ọgbà wa jẹ́ láti inú gbó wá. Wọ́n ní ẹran burúkú wá ń jẹ ẹ̀rùn pé kọ́lọ́run kó tún wá yí padà. Wọ́n ní gbé ojú ìmọ́lẹ̀ rẹ̀ wò wá kó sì gbé ọjà àgbàrá yìí wò. Ọgbà àjàrà tí ọwọ́ ọ̀tún ìwọ Ọlọ́run ti gbìn, ọmọkùnrin tó ti múlé fún ara rẹ̀. àwa èèyàn dúdú ni orílẹ̀-èdè Áfíríkà ó ń tún wa yí padà Ọlọ́run ojú ẹsẹ̀ wa kò sì gbà wá là àkókò tí Ọlọ́run máa gbà wá là lélẹ̀ ìta wa yìí the time is now but when I look at the things that's happening it is bothering. It's a lot of concerns that it could be war in nígbà tí anybody ro, and it's very, very close. Honestly, the things that are happening, you can just tell any miscalculation can lead to anything.
Kìnìyàn freeze. Ó freeze láti ọ̀dọ̀ wọn nígbà tí à ń dúró kán darapọ̀ mọ́ wa padà. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n sáré kí àwọn tí wọ́n tún ṣẹ̀ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa. Mo kí yín mọ́mì Yẹmí Folúkẹ́, ẹ ṣeun àná grandma, àgbà yín á dalẹ́ mà, ẹ ṣé lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀. Dádì Ọlá Akínyẹmí, a kí yín, ẹ ṣé gan. Mọ́mì Adéjọkẹ́ Ọmọláyọ̀, mọ́mì ẹ ṣeun lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ o, a rí yín pẹ́ lágbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run. Àǹtí mi mọ́mì Rísí Áṣírù, ẹ ṣé gidi gan ni, ojú ò ní tì yín láéláé. Bestie mi ọmọ ọlọ́jọ́ bí àná, Ẹniọlá Ọlájùmọ̀kẹ́ Ella Emmanuela, wàá ṣe ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọdún láyé o. Àwọn tó bí ẹ wọ́n máa jèrè ẹ lágbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run, wàá débi gíga, àṣeyí ṣàmọ́dùn lágbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run. Ojú ò ní tì ẹ́ láéláé. Inú wa dùn pé a bá grandma pàdé nínú ìrìn àjò yìí. Love you, love you. Ọlájùmọ̀kẹ́ Ẹniọlá Ella, God bless you. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n sáré pé Dr. Abiodun Ojo, ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ bá mi ní sùúrù. Tẹ bá rí wọn kìnìyàn já ọ̀tá wọn kúrò, so ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ jẹ́ kí n sáré pé wọn, mò ń bọ̀ wá. Ẹ̀yin aráalé ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ máa bá wa like, ẹ máa bá wa love. Network ni. I know sir. Ẹ má bínú ẹ jọ̀ọ́ torí Ọlọ́run. ṣé ti lè login padà sá. Let's take time, sir. Kò ṣe. Kò ṣe àbí. Okay. Okay. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n resend. Kò ṣe. Ẹ má bínú o, ẹ̀yin aráalé, ẹ jọ̀ọ́ torí Ọlọ́run. À ń bọ̀ wá, ẹ fún wa ní ìṣẹ́jú kan sí méjì, ẹ jọ̀ọ́. Bí wọ́n ṣe bọ́tà wọn ṣe já kúrò kò yé wa, so òun ni à ń gbìyànjú láti ṣe, ẹ jọ̀ọ́. Kò ṣiṣẹ́ sà. Ó ga o. Okay. All right. Ẹ káàbọ̀ padà sà. Hello sir. Hello. Hello. Gbọ́ yín. Okay. Ṣé ń gbọ́ mi sà? ṣé ń gbọ́ mi sà? A gbọ́ yín sà o. Hello? Oh boy. Hello? A gbọ́ yín o, a gbọ́ yín dádì. Oh. Well, ó dà ipa nípẹ́ parí ètò tèmi. Ẹ fún mi ní ìṣẹ́jú kan sí méjì ẹ jọ̀ọ́. Mi ò tiẹ̀ tún wá gẹ̀ẹ́tì wọn mọ́ báyìí. Ẹ má bínú ẹ̀yin aráalé. Ẹ̀rí tá bá rẹni tó fẹ́ pè wọlé láti bá wa dá sí ètò. Mi ò fẹ́ kúrò, mi ò fẹ́ yà kúrò lórí nǹkan tí wọ́n ń sọ lọ fún wa ni. Ṣùgbọ́n bó ṣe ń lọ, a ní pẹ́ parí ètò ti alẹ́ yìí mọ́. Ẹ ní sùúrù fún mi, ẹ jọ̀ọ́. A jẹ́ pé bọ́lọ́run ṣe fẹ́ kí ètò tèmi yìí rí nìyẹn. Hello, sir. Okay. Hello? Gbọ́ yín sà o. Hello, sir. Gbọ́ nǹkan tẹ̀ ń sọ sà. A kàn ń wọ o. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Ẹ ti wọlé padà.
Again.
So.
Mo tọrọ àforíjì o. I don't know what's going on here.
Ó yé Ọlọ́run sà.
Ẹ má bínú sí mi.
No, ẹ wà okay sà. Ẹ wà okay sà. Ó tún ti ṣẹlẹ̀. Ó tún ti ṣẹlẹ̀ o. Kí ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀ gangan? Ẹ̀yin aráalé, ó jọ pé a ní pẹ́ parí ètò ti alẹ́ yìí. Bóyá bí Ọlọ́run ṣe fẹ́ nìyẹn. Bóyá bí Ọlọ́run ṣe fẹ́ kí ètò ti èní lọ ni. Torí pé gbogbo nǹkan yìí ó máa ń ṣẹlẹ̀ náà ní ìgbà mìíràn ní ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ìgbà tí wọ́n bá ti ẹ jẹ́ kí n tún pè wọ́n wò. A ní pẹ́ parí ètò mọ́. Ẹ má bínú, ẹ jọ̀ọ́. A máa tẹ̀síwájú pẹ̀lú wọn lọ́jọ́ míì. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n gbé wọn wọlé. Gbọ́ yín sà. Ẹ̀yin ń gbọ́ mi bẹ̀tà wo gbọ́ yín sà. So I don't know. Ṣé nígbà tẹ́ wọlé padà yẹn? Yes. Ìgbà tí ẹ ẹ mọ̀
kó má lọ jẹ́ pé ọ̀gá ọ̀ ṣe pé mo sọ mo sùn.
ẹ̀yin aráalé àní rí ètò tí èní yìí ẹ jẹ́ kí n pè kí wọ́n fi kí ẹ̀yin aráalé ká tó máa lọ ẹ jẹ́ kí n pè wọ́n padà ká kí àwọn aráalé àwa mọ nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ so. ẹ jọ̀ọ́ kí àwọn aráalé ṣàkà tó máa lọ sà àbí.
ẹ wo mo tọrọ àforíjì o this is totally called for but bó ṣe wọ Ọlọ́run ló ń ṣọlá ẹ̀ àdèlè mú sí ó wù mí gbogbo ọgbọ́n mo ti dábàá yìí tí mi ò tí mọ mi ò ráyè wọ orí iṣẹ́ yẹn èmi dẹ̀ gbọ́n bí alájẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ but nobody will see me nobody will see me I don't know why that happens ṣùgbọ́n ẹ jẹ́ ká gbàgbọ́ náà we win some we gain some we lose some we win some it's part of life so to God be all the glory èmi ò gbàgbọ́ pé nǹkan lè láṣẹ Ọlọ́run dúró náà gbogbo ní òṣìṣẹ́ pọ̀ fún ìfẹ́ Ọlọ́run láti ṣe so mo kí wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí pé ẹ ṣe wọn ẹ̀kọ́ àdúró tì lágbára Ọlọ́run ìró ayọ̀ láò gbọ́ sí àwa ìran èèyàn dúdú lágbára láìpẹ́ láì jìnnà ìpín wa orílẹ̀-èdè ayé yóò sì dára ọmọ orí adé wa kò ní sùtá mọ́ lágbára ìdúrà rẹ̀ gbogbo àwọn ọ̀tá wa Ọlọ́run lè gbà á ṣe wọ́n mọ́ṣẹ́ fúnra wọn lágbára Ọlọ́run lọ́wọ́ fúnra wọn ní wọ́n jẹ ẹ ṣe títí dé àtúpàdé kí Ọlọ́run kó mọ́kàn àtúrí kí Ọlọ́run kó sì pẹ̀lú wa ẹ ṣe.
ẹ ṣeun gan ni sà mo wà lórí ìkúnlẹ̀ ẹ ṣe àdúpẹ́ lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ màá pè yín tí bá ti kúrò lórí ètò sà ẹ ṣe gan ni sà ó dàbọ̀ sà ẹ ṣe mo dúpẹ́ sà bàbá wa Ọláwálé Àlàbí ẹ kú ọjọ́ láíláí sà Ella ẹni ọlá tẹ máa ń kí tẹni ká má pè ní Ella mọ́ ká má pè ní ẹni ọlá àná ló ṣe ayẹyẹ ọjọ́ ìbí ẹ̀ àdẹ̀rí yín ṣùgbọ́n inú wa dùn pé ẹ tún padà wá àkìyínkìyín ṣé dáadáa ní gbogbo léwà ẹ kú ọjọ́ mẹ́ta o inú wa dùn ara wa yá ẹ káàbọ̀ padà ẹ ṣe gidi gan ni sà so ẹ̀yin aráalé torí pé mi ò fẹ́ yà kúrò lórí ọ̀rọ̀ tí wọ́n ń sọ lọ ìdí nìyẹn tí mi ò ṣe fẹ́ tẹ̀síwájú mọ́ lórí ẹ̀ ìyókù ó tún di ọ̀la ní dédé aago 7 p.m. Eastern time 7 p.m. Eastern time ẹ jẹ́ kí notification bell ẹ jẹ́ kó wà on ojú òní tì yín láéláé lágbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run mo gbà á ládùúrà pé àtẹ̀yìn àti mi títí tá máa dàgbà tá máa dògbó tá fi máa lọ síbi tí àgbà rè a ò ní mọ̀ kúrò lágbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run ojú òní tì wá gbogbo àdáwọ́lé yín àti tèmi náà ó máa yọrí sí rere ni ọdún ń lọ ọdún yìí ti ń lọ nìyẹn o èní yìí 23rd ó kù ọjọ́ 7 péré tí oṣù yìí máa fi lọ mo gbà á ládùúrà pé oṣù yìí kò ní di ẹ̀yin àti èmi mẹ́rù lọ àti pé wákàtí tó kù oṣù tó kù ọjọ́ tó kù ìṣẹ́jú tó kù tọ́dún yìí yóò máa fi parí ẹni tíbi yóò kàn tí yóò kàn wá kò ní kàn wọ́n lágbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run àánú Ọlọ́run ààbò Ọlọ́run ó máa dájú lórí gbogbo wa ẹ ṣé lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ ṣùgbọ́n ẹ̀yin àṣebàjẹ́ ẹ múra sí o torí pé Ọlọ́run mọ̀ ń gbọ́ mo fi Ọlọ́run tó ṣẹ̀dá mi tí màá lọ jí iṣẹ́ mi fún nígbà tí n bá dàgbà tí n bá dògbò ara yín lẹ̀ ń dá lóró Ọlọ́run kò yé yín ni the more ẹ̀yin ń gbìyànjú pé kí wọ́n má gbọ́ wa ṣẹ́yìn rí ẹnìkan tó lè dáṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run dúró ṣẹ́yìn rí ẹnìkan tó lè pa gbogbo mẹ́rin no ẹ rò pé bàjẹ́ ni kò lè bàjẹ́ bí Ọlọ́run ṣe gbẹ̀ tí ẹ̀mí ẹ̀ wà ohun gbogbo ni àsìkò wà fún tí n bá ti rí bẹ́ẹ̀ sí mi tí n bá ti rí Ẹniọlá Ọlájùmọ̀kẹ́ ọmọ olóríire ọmọ alálùbáríkà tí mo rírú àwọn àdúrà yẹn Ọlọ́run egungun mi máa ń le ni inú mi máa ń dùn ara mi a máa yá gágá kò sí bó ṣe lè rẹ̀ mí tó máa jáde ṣáà ni so bó ṣe wà nìyẹn ẹ ṣe lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ ìyókù ò tún di ọ̀la kọ́lọ́run kó jọ̀wọ́ kó pa wá mọ́ tabarẹni tó bá dẹ̀ fẹ́ pè sí orí ètò láti bá wa dá sí ètò nígbà tá à ń dúró ẹ má gbàgbé ẹ bá mi lọ sí Powerhouse Gospel Ministries lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí Powerhouse Gospel Ministries ní abẹ́ àkóso bàbá mi Prophet Olúṣọlá Ọlọ́kọ̀ ẹ lọ bá mi follow page wọn YouTube Facebook wọn à ń ṣe ìpàdé àdúrà ìṣòro lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ ní dédé aago 12 instant time 12 midnight instant time àtẹ̀yìn àtèmi a máa lẹ́rìí ẹ ṣé gidi gan ni ó dàárọ̀ gbogbo lé. I don't know what is wrong. Okay ṣé okay ẹ mọ nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ pẹ̀lú nẹ́tíwọ̀kì yín okay kò sí wàhálà sá ó dàárọ̀ o.